everybody, it's Janet Metzger of the Network Marketers Den, and I have a really, really fun, cool guest that you're going to want to hear from. Stacia Waffen is an expert in this business. She has been there, done that. She has been in the field. She's been actually in the industry for 12 years, so she's seen a lot of things. She's not only been a leader in the field, so she's doing what you do, but she's also now part of a corporate role. So she's taking that knowledge of being a field person and sharing it with her company. So she's really, really privileged. These are her words. It's a true honor and privilege to work with consultants to help them realize their dreams and bring them to reality. That's what our business is about. In her current role, she's with a company that if I say this wrong, Stacia, I truly apologize. This is a good test. L'Occitane. Okay.
Very good. You nailed it.
I get it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And she says she's blessed to lead her consultants, partnering with them in growing this brand. It's a new organization, and she's their coach and their trainer. So welcome, Stacia. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I am truly honored to be here.
And what's great is, and we're going to talk today about social selling.
Yeah.
Whatever the heck that means. I'm not sure I get it, but that's how you and I met. Was through social media, right? Okay. Yeah. But we actually had a live conversation, and you're going to talk.
I mean, I like to think that we have really kind of lived up to what social sellers do in creating a relationship and taking it outside of social media, and really learned a lot about each other.
Yeah, we really have. It's been wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your journey. So you've been in the field as a consultant, and now you're at the corporate level and have done a couple of other corporate things. Tell us a little bit about the Stacia that we're not going to read on social media, family, where you live, and your direct selling journey.
Yeah. So I started, my kiddos were little, and I had a really good full-time job. I was teaching at a local university, and I just wanted something that was for me.
For you.
I had no intentions of building a team, much like, most people say, I don't want to build a team. I just, I had a little fun money, buy some purses, and not feel guilty about it. And boy, was I in for really a life-changing event. And this business, this industry disrupted my life in the best way possible. I never would have imagined.
Disruption. Okay.
Yeah. I never would have imagined that we would have evolved into this. I mean, I'll tell you, the power of this opportunity that our industry provides truly impacted my life. And my little tiny direct selling business kept a roof over our heads and food on our table when we were really down and out as a family. And I never would have seen that coming, when I first signed up and bought my kit, and I was just going to make some money to buy some bags. And here it turned into this full-time career that has truly disrupted our lives in the best way and changed the trajectory of where my family has headed. So I believe so strongly in what we do and the opportunity that we offer. And I want everybody to be able to have the same chance that I did.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that about, like you said, I have a saying, you can never have too many purses, shoes, or jewelry. So I get the bags and the purses, but who would have thought that it would have kept that roof over your head? Wow. That's really, really telling. So what changed that you went from being the feet on the street, if you will, to wanting to get into that corporate role? Because it's different. I've been in both places, so I know.
Yeah, I've been in both places. And I kind of knew as I really started to build my organization that I loved helping people. And I have a soft spot in my heart for every brand new consultant. I look at them like they're a brand new CEO of their own company. And I knew that I wanted to really be able to focus in on helping more people start their businesses. And for me, that was taking a corporate role. It happened to be really great timing for my family and where we were in life. And the transition was really a natural one. And I have fallen in love with, I love being in the field. And there are things that I miss about being a leader of an organization, but I love that I can reach so many people and have a greater impact. And that to me is really where my heart's at.
Right, right. You said something, and I told you I would just go off of what you said, but it really is important. And I think, when we talk about building a large organization, you talk about the new consultant, the new distributor, representative, whatever your company has. Talk about the importance of working with a brand new distributor, consultant, how to get them off on the right foot, because man, we have a high turnover rate. And I think it all starts with the right onboarding. Can you just expand on that a little?
Agree with you. And I would love to say that this is something that we've 100% nailed down, but I think it changes so frequently. And I think we've got a really good system. But to me, it's all about the relationship and locking arms with that new person right away. They need to know that you believe in them because they don't believe in themselves yet. Right. They need to believe in the opportunity that they've just said yes to, because we kind of all get that buyer's remorse right away. Like, what did I
do?
Yeah. And did I really mean to do this? So we try to lock arms right away with all of our new consultants. And to me, that is hey, I'm Stacia. I'm here to help you. And I want to help you make this whatever you want it to be. It's not about go book 5 parties, or it's not about go recruit your best friend. It's what do you want from this? And how can I help you get there? And it's so individualized to every single person. Now, of course, there are natural steps that we want to take. You want to announce that you're in business and announce that you've done this amazing thing, but that plan looks different for everyone.
Right, right. Oh, thank you for saying that. It isn't, we're kind of talking out of both sides of our mouth because we know that we're in a business of duplication.
Right.
But yet it still has to be customized to that person. And the other thing I heard you say, and thank you for saying this, is that it's not really about you. It's about what they want. Just because you need this person to do that, if they don't want to do it, it doesn't make any difference. So I know that's a sidebar, but the reason why I bring that up is yesterday I had a conversation with one of my clients, and her words were, I can't hit my goal because those people are not doing what I need them to do. Yeah. And I said, well, guess what? They're never going to. So thank you. Thank you for saying that. And relationships. I always say you gave birth to a new baby. My goodness, you have to raise this baby. You can't just
so true.
pop them out and let them go. Yeah.
Right. You think about that's such a great analogy. We have our children, we're blessed with them until they're 18 and then they go out on their own, but that's 18 years. And a new consultant is no different. Every company identifies a new consultant in a certain amount of time, but really, that first year is let's lock arms.
It's crucial.
Together.
And even the first day, first week, first month Absolutely. Is so important. So thank you for letting me go off on a tangent, but I am loopy about that. I am just loopy. So you talked a little bit about the individualization. That's a hard word to say, but what makes your company and Stacia different than maybe somebody else? Not in a good, not necessarily that they're not good, but what makes you, what makes your company different?
So we're truly doing things differently. And I'll speak for myself first. I have I'm definitely a type A. I'm a driver, a go-getter, but I have always taken a little bit more of a laid back approach or a more relaxed approach in business. And that you kind of heard that in my comment about working with a new consultant. We can have a prescribed method for success, right, but we need to be able to fit that into everybody's bucket. And I love to say when I'm talking about this opportunity that our consultants truly get to design the business that they want to have. And it's not you have to do it this way. You can mix and match and create this hybrid business model that works for you. We were chatting earlier. I am kind of living in the shoes of consultants right now, leading by example for our very small and growing field. And I was shuttling kiddos around just over the weekend in between one practice and another. And I had some work I wanted to catch up on for my social media content for the week. And I'm working on some captions. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to share this because here I am. I have 15 minutes while I'm sitting at the baseball field. I'm knocking out some of my social media content. And this is how we do business now. We find these little pockets of time. And truly, one of our models is to touch your business in 10 minutes a day, 10 ways to find success. And if you can find those little pockets of time, 10 minutes, we can show you how in just that 10 minutes that you can have success. Now, are you going to be a millionaire in 10 minutes a day?
Probably not.
But the average person that wants to find those small wins and small victories can do it in that little amount of time. And that's just, part of my more relaxed approach to how we do things.
Absolutely. And we all know, I've been in this business a really long time. And I always say the more things change, the more they stay the same. We always hear, what's the number one objection? I don't have time. And you're talking 10 minutes. And I always say, you can grow your business in 15 minutes a day. So, and that's the real world. I don't know the exact number because it changes, but it's somewhere in the area of 80% of people do this business part-time. It doesn't matter what your company is.
Right.
So that's a really, really good technique when you're talking to people about, starting a business.
Absolutely.
So the 10 and 10, I really like that. I think that's spot on. Can you give us a couple? You don't have to tell us all 10, but can you give us a couple things that somebody could do in 10 minutes?
It's actually super simple. You're doing 3 different kinds of connections. I am a huge proponent of relationships. Regardless of the fact that we are in social selling, this is still a relationship business. Yep. So you want to connect with 3 people who you need to tell about our product, or you're going to share product. Yep. 3 people that you want to share a specific piece of your business with, whether it's to schedule a one-on-one consultation, whether it's to do a diagnostic appointment, or whether it's to offer them the opportunity to do some kind of event with you. So you want 3 people where you're sharing a specific vehicle, and then you're going to connect with 3 people specifically about the business opportunity. So there's your 9. And then 10 is 1 social media post.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty darn simple.
So it's not so cumbersome.
No,
you can accomplish all of that. I'm also a big fan of, rather than sending a text message or a typed out direct message, I love voice memos.
Yes,
because it's much more personal and much more relational. You can send 9 voice memos in under 10 minutes. And
Absolutely.
You're done for the day.
Absolutely. And after all, you're not supposed to be texting in the car or whatever, but I use voicemail. Now, once in a while it's a little garbled, but you know what? People know that it's you too. I think that's really important. We were talking earlier about getting hacked and all that. And that's what I did when I said, I actually sent a voice message to say, it is me requesting this. So they got to hear my voice. So, Okay. You said social selling. Tell me what that means to you. Tell us, because I hear that all the time,
It's just a different way of doing our business. It's the same. You said it earlier, some things change and then they really don't change. Actually, that's the same thing. We are just more social in how we share now. Instead of being face-to-face, we're on screens and we're utilizing social media as our vehicle of sharing. Bottom line, it's still a relationship business. And one thing we have to work really hard at now, I think it's almost harder because we use social media as a crutch. We have this screen that we can hide behind. And we have to find a way to come out from behind the screen and really differentiate ourselves. Where before I would go into somebody's home when I was a consultant, I was their person. I was who they associated with my brand. Now I can get on Facebook or get on Instagram and search a brand, and I can see hundreds, if not thousands, of consultants that are associated with that brand. So we have to work really hard to not use social media as a crutch, but to use it as a way to stand out and create our own personal brand, but also make sure that we're not forgetting about that relationship piece. I mentioned it earlier. It's great. It's a great way to connect. And I look at it as kind of, you used to join the Chamber of Commerce, or, you had different networking vehicles, whether it was parties, whatever it was, to go and meet people. Well, the social media part is now your networking tool, but you have to take it to the next level.
Exactly.
And you have to be able to connect outside of the social media post, the story, the live, the reel, whatever it is, to build that relationship where you're really going to convert to a sale or a new team member.
Absolutely. Because, several years ago, when the social media really started, I saw a trend where people didn't want to talk to people. They thought if they post, like the Field of Dreams, if I post it, they will come.
Right.
And you know, I'm like, no, you still have to have conversations. And I just liken it to, you know, online dating. I've been married almost 40 years. Okay. So I don't know anything about online dating personally, but I know this, that it all started with a relationship. If you do online dating, you're not going to marry that person. You're going to take it offline, just like you and I did. I mean, we have not met in person because you're in Ohio, right?
Right.
And I'm in Wisconsin. It's not like we're next door neighbors. So, but yet I still feel that connection, and that's what it is. And the same way, talk about with your training, how, I mean, again, I didn't know I was going here, but talk about how you can train your consultants and distributors online, yet still make it feel personal. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's so true. I mean, we've got such a powerful tool in how social we are, and we can be virtual. We can reach people, you know, all over the country and all over the world, but we still need that connection. So I like to think we take a really multifaceted approach. We offer larger trainings, full network trainings. We do some smaller group training, which I love, small group coaching. Yeah. And we do one-on-one for those who really want to move and advance forward. And it's really all about what you want. But I'll tell you, the power is in the small group and in the one-on-one, because we get to connect and we can share ideas and we can learn a little bit more about one another and realize that, oh, hey, I might be in business by myself, but I'm never alone. I'm with this group of people, and they're like-minded. They have similar goals, similar dreams, and also similar struggles. And when we can relate to each other and have this place where we can say, I'm having a hard time connecting with people too. Yeah. Yeah. And they go, oh, and we can kind of talk through that together. I mean, it's kind of like a little mini therapy session, but it really allows us to connect and to grow as business leaders, as business owners, and as people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think of my students, most of my students are online. I've never met them in person, but I feel like I know them. I mean, I know all about their families. So no, but you still have to talk to people. I guess that's
you really have to. And you know, it's interesting. I was in the office last week for the very first time, and at headquarters in New York City. And it was the first time our corporate team had come together in person. And my husband asked me, he goes, you know, well, how was it? How was everyone? I was like, it's like we're a family. We just instantly, because we are on screen together daily, we have the bond, but being able to take it offline and really to truly connect, there's just something so special about it. It's all been forged on a screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's, but people don't pick up the phone anymore either. So, do you call your consultants? I'm just curious. Do you
I do. I was just talking to one before we hopped on. I love to be on the phone. I also am still a proponent of a handwritten note. I have a stack of note cards on my desk, and I love sending out just thinking of you notes. Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah. Because, you know, it's as much as we're together, it's lonely. You're kind of out there by yourself. And, you know, it does take that special person to be part of this. But I, you know, some of my best memories are going into people's homes and seeing those note cards on the refrigerator, just like your kids.
Yeah. I mean, I still have some from when I was in the field, from my field development manager that she had shared with me. They're still in my desk drawer because, you know, every now and again, it's nice to see that.
Yeah. I believe you should have an Atta Girl folder when you're having a tough day. Because have you ever had a bad day in your business?
I mean, one or two.
Yeah, one or two. Yeah, not since yesterday. I always say not maybe a bad day, a bad moment. So sometimes you need to find a way to inspire yourself, and that's what you're so good at. You had said earlier about the belief that you have the belief in them. Let them borrow the belief. That's really, really important. So, wow, very, very. It's inspirational. I just can't get off of the fact that you would have been without a home, without a roof over your head until you had this business. So,
yeah.
So you talk about authentic. Tell us what authentic means to you, about authentic relationships. What does that mean in your world?
To me, it's not about the business. It's about, who are you and who am I connecting with and how can I help that person? What kind of impact? So we like to talk in terms of impact. What kind of impact are we having? So instead of setting goals with my consultants and leaders that I work with, we talk about, how many lives are you going to impact this month? And what does that impact look like? And it starts with the relationship. You can't have impact if you don't know someone.
Yeah.
So I was just on a coaching call yesterday with a consultant who is working really hard. She's new on social media. And that's, if you're just starting out on social media, that can be a slow, painstaking process to build a following. And she was asking, how do I build? How do I connect with people? And I said, she had posted a reel. I said, okay, let's look at your reel. And I said, okay, look, 20 people liked your reel. That's awesome. That's really great. What did you do to connect with those 20 people? And she goes, oh, I didn't do anything. I said, okay. I said, here's your chance to start building a relationship. And this is showing up authentically. Send them a message and say, hey, Janet, thanks so much for liking my reel. It's great to connect with you.
It's that simple. You start the conversation.
Start a conversation.
Yeah.
Don't hide behind your post. Because like you said, it's not the field of dreams. You can post beautiful, amazing content all day long, but until you're engaging with the people that are interacting with your content, it's not going to go anywhere.
That's right.
It's showing up authentically and being yourself, and ask questions, get to know, tell me about, what is that struggle for you? What's your day look like? What kind of job do you have? Tell me about your family. Get to know them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
This
will naturally find its way into the conversation.
Yeah. And I think that's the key word, that long word, the conversation. You have to have a conversation. And, that's always frustrated me when you'll see people do all these posts that'll say, oh, it's just attraction marketing. Yeah, well, no.
That's the start of it.
It's the start of it, but you have to take the conversation, and you have to, and I love the 10 and 10, because I talk about filling your pipeline. I talk about the power of three conversations, 3 whatever. That is so spot on. So you talked about a strategy about hybrid. Can you expand on that? That I think is, gosh, all you have to do is go in a parking lot of a grocery store and every other car says hybrid now. So what does it mean?
It's definitely a popular word.
It is.
I will say the way we intend to use it is that our consultants can truly design a business that fits their lifestyle and fits how they want to do business. So it can be, we're skincare, beauty, self-care. It could be one-on-one consultations. It could be doing a skincare diagnostic. It could be doing a virtual event. It could be doing a good old in-person gathering, vendor events, you name it, we can support it, but you get to decide, what is the hybrid version of the business that I want to run? What do I want MyL'Occitane storefront to be like? And that's your hybrid approach. And we've got consultants that are doing a little bit of all of those different things and doing really well with it, but it's not a prescribed model like we're so used to.
Yeah. It's a buffet.
It really is. It really is.
You don't have to have everything, but I think, the thing, Stacia, that I'm hearing, that I think our listeners need to hear, is that you've got to, it's not that cookie cutter approach. It's, you let the consultant decide what they want to do. But at the end of the day, I've always said it's network marketing. You still have to work. You still have to have the conversations and the relationships. I'll tell you, this past weekend, I'm working alongside a client, and it's a new business adventure. It's not network marketing, but I did a vendor event, and we always go talk to all the other vendors, right? That's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them, I knew the answer before I even asked them how it was going for them. And I could pinpoint who was having success and who wasn't. And it was usually the person that was sitting down behind their booth with their arms crossed.
Absolutely.
Okay? Just because you put up a booth doesn't mean they're going to come. So it is so, so true. But I love that idea of the hybrid, and you can pick and choose, do some, do all, but it's also the best practices. You've got to teach them the best practices.
Absolutely. And it all boils down to the same business fundamentals. And to me, it's relationships and communication.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, there's a saying that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And that's really not true. But what do you say? Again, I told you I would just throw some stuff at you. What would you say to a consultant that is trying to convince somebody to come onto their team? What's your approach about convincing?
I was going to say, first of all, I would tell them that if they're feeling like they have to convince the person, we're probably not saying the right thing or maybe taking the right approach. But to me, it's all about sharing the impact. And it's, why do you think they would be so great? Why can you not get them out of your head? Why is it that you see them having success here? And that's what you need to share with them. Just show them why they would be great. I love to pay people a genuine compliment and show them, you know, Janet, you are such a people person and you are such a great communicator. You would do so beautifully sharing this amazing company with your friends and family. Can we chat?
And if they say no, next, right? I mean,
yeah, that's okay. And you know what? Thank you so much for hearing me out. I really appreciate getting to reach out to you. Let me know if anything ever changes.
Yeah, because stuff does change.
All the time. All the time our lives change. I mean, you and I have talked about this in the past, just how different the American life is financially today compared to a year ago. Life changes.
Yeah. So you shared a statistic with me when we talked last week that blew me away.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all go to my big aha was when I went to buy eggs and they're like $3.50 a dozen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what just happened there? You know, and I don't drive that much because I work from a home office. Like many of us, thank goodness we have that. But can you share that statistic and talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I actually have read two very similar statistics. The average American household right now needs an additional $433 per month just to make ends meet in the same manner that they did a year ago. $433 more a month. And it totals about $5,200 a year more that family needs just to get by without changing their lifestyle at all.
And maintain.
Just to maintain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you think about it, that's everything, you know, and this isn't political or anything like that, but stuff has changed. Price of gas goes up. It's the price of groceries, the price of your clothing. It's kind of, I went to the dollar store the other day and it's $1.25. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah. Nothing's just $1.
Yeah. So what do you say to somebody that, you know, because I've noticed the difference. I mean, I noticed when I went out to eat, the prices went up. So what could you say? What would somebody say to somebody about that and how they could use our business, your business, whatever business you're in as a way to close that gap?
I mean, that's exactly what this industry, in my opinion, is best for, is that side gig, that side hustle. I mean, I know my family has felt that difference. I talk about running our kiddos around all over the place. They're not close to home when we have to take them places. The impact just on gas alone on our family budget to shuttle the kids to and from has been significant. And that's where this industry and this opportunity at any company, when somebody finds the right fit, can really bridge that gap and make that difference. And without having to get a part-time job, having to try and find childcare for the kiddos while you're trying to make up that income deficit, because you can do it while you're with them. You can do it in those 10-minute, 15-minute pockets of time like we've described. And you really can bridge that gap in those little pockets of time. And I always like to say the busiest people make the best consultants.
They
can find those little pockets of time. They're good with time management. They know where they've got time that they could find, and they're willing to make it work to be successful. And that's the beauty of what we offer.
Yeah. So, I mean, that when you told me that number, I was like, whoa. And I actually did sit down and we had taken a family trip and we drove. Mm-hmm. And in the farther west we went, the higher the price of gas. And I mean, this was when it was at its highest. And all of a sudden, instead of paying $50 to gas up, it was $90. I'm like, whoa. Right. So, you know, it's the old $10 you to death kind of thing.
Exactly.
So you talk about the busy people. So if I was looking at, I think everybody should share that number. I really do. Who would you say is a great person to talk to about an earning opportunity, knowing that it's $433 more a month? I can't get that number out of my head. So
to me, it's anyone. It's anyone right now, because we're all impacted. But to me specifically, I would want to look for families, people who have kiddos that are really busy. They're in the sports, because, you know, they're running kids around. They're trying to keep food on the table. Our grocery bill, and we have 4 kids in our house, 3 of which are teenage boys. Our grocery bill has significantly changed. It's not a small amount. So I would look for those families. And that's where you have a great opportunity to have an impact and to say, you know what, I don't know if this is something you've ever thought about, or if you're feeling impacted by our current economy. But if you are, I would love to invite you to take a look at this, because it could be what helps you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Without having to go punch a clock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or let somebody else dictate your schedule, because bottom line, we still need that flexibility to be able to accommodate our families and get kiddos to and from and do all of the things that we love to do and have been blessed to be able to offer to our kids. But we can't lose that flexibility by punching a clock. So we're struggling with what is the solution.
Wow. That is, now I know why when you're feeling it, but like I said, it's that little bit at a time, but I sat down and I added it up, and that number is spot on.
Yeah.
So, this has been great. Let me ask you this. When you're not working and you're working in between, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, I love to exercise. So you will find me on my bike or at a Pure Barre class pretty much every day of the week. That is my me time for sure. Keeps me sane. And healthy too.
Sure.
But I love to be outdoors anytime I can. In Ohio, our outdoor time is really limited. So we take advantage of the sunshine when we get it. Love to travel, love to be at the beach is my happy place.
Oh my goodness. Good for you. Good for you. Now, you had mentioned that one of the things you love to do is help people. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're offering all of our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to offer a strategy session to any listener, regardless of what company they're with, and really take a look at their business and their goals and where they'd like to go, and help them create a strategic plan to get to where they want to be.
Oh, that's great. So for our listeners, in our notes section there is a link, and you can reach right out to Stacia, get something set up. You guys need to get on her calendar. I have been in the industry a really long time, and I have learned a ton from her. So especially if you're brand new or you're struggling, because it is, let's face it, there's a lot on our plates, and you've just got to be able to figure out what works best for you. But your approach, your company's approach of the hybrid model, and thank you for embracing the part it's still about relationships. I can't thank you enough, because I've had a lot of people that tell me, oh, you don't need to do any of that. You don't need to meet people. No, you do.
There's a reason it's social selling.
That's right.
Have that social piece.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, Stacia, thank you again so much for joining us. And for our listeners, check her out. You got to check this out. You got to get on her calendar. And also included in our show notes is the opportunity for you to learn how to grow your business with my free course, 15 minutes a day, because we all are pressed for time. But when you make the most of your time, you can't manage time, but you can manage what you do. And that's what Stacia's sharing. That's what the 15 minutes a day is. So we'll see you in the next episode of the Network Marketers Den. Stacia, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much, Janet.
We appreciate it so much. And here's to your success. And I will see everybody on the side of success. Take care, everyone.